How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. Today's show, we're going to be talking about the severity of the coronavirus and the fact that the Premier League is now suspended.
I represent my fucking self.
How we doing, guys? Welcome to DT's Daily. That's right. So, of course, yesterday the inevitable happened. The Premier League was suspended. Not just the Premier League, but all across England. And it was what we expected. When the news broke about Mikel Arteta, you just knew that that was what was going to happen. They were holding an emergency meeting yesterday morning, and we knew it was going to get suspended. But then what happens during the course of the night? First of all, Callum Hudson-Odoi, the Chelsea player, he comes out, he tests positive for coronavirus. During the course of the day, Everton have now got players that are displaying symptoms, and they've gone into self-isolation. West Ham, of course, they played Arsenal only last week. They've gone into self-isolation, including David Moyes, who was in close contact to Mikel Arteta. Bournemouth and their goalkeeper and some other players are showing symptoms of the coronavirus, and it's just spreading rapidly. I'm going to read you a statement in a moment from the Premier League, but I genuinely do not think that this season's going to finish. I genuinely think that they're going to have to wipe this season out. And that's not banter, that's not me trying to wind up Liverpool fans. I'm being genuine. I really think that this is going to get a lot worse before it gets better. Now, of course, today the Premier League, the Football League and the Women's Super League have suspended all matches until the weekend of the 3rd to the 5th of April in response to the coronavirus pandemic. An unprecedented development. It follows the revelation overnight, of course, that several Premier League clubs have members of staff, including players and coaches, who are displaying symptoms of the virus. The Scottish FA have taken in even stronger measures, announcing that all football under its jurisdiction will be suspended until further notice. That means the Old Firm derby is off this weekend, and all games right down to the grassroots leagues. In England, however, the National League confirmed that it will be fulfilling its fixtures this weekend, including a home match for Notts County, who regularly draw crowds of over 5,000 people. Grassroots football will also be allowed to continue as normal for now. See, now, that last bit there, I think that's very, neglectful, what they're doing there. You've got Notts County at home, up to 5,000 people can turn up. Where's the common sense? At what point do the clubs not actually turn around and say, you know what, we need to take matters in our own hands? Forget what they're saying up above. We need to protect, the fans. We need to protect our players, our staff and everyone else. Why are those games going ahead? Scotland, they ban everything, right down to grassroots. In England, that's all right, you lot can still play. I don't get that one. International level, the FA has also announced that the 2 England friendlies due to be played at the end of March against Denmark and Italy at Wembley have been called off. Certainly not surprised about the Italy game, given the issues out there at the moment. In Europe, UEFA have announced the postponement of all pending fixtures in the Champions League and Europa League, and they haven't even given a specific date as to when that may return. The Premier League said in a statement, the Premier League, FA, EFL and WSL have collectively agreed to postpone the professional game in England. Following a meeting of shareholders today, it was unanimously decided to suspend the Premier League with the intention of returning on the 4th of April, subject to medical advice and conditions at the time. In this unprecedented situation, we are working closely with our clubs, government, the FA and EFL, and can reassure everyone the health and welfare of players, staff and supporters are our priority. Despite the challenges, it is the Premier League's aim to reschedule the displaced fixtures when it is safe to do so. I genuinely can't see that. There's no way that this is going to be sorted out in 3 weeks' time. Absolutely no chance. It's going to be like a never-ending cycle. You know, the players go back for Arsenal, for example, on the 24th of March. Someone else displays symptoms, catches coronavirus. They all have to go back into quarantine for 14 days. It's a never-ending cycle. There's some clubs that haven't got an issue at the moment, but they might get an issue in a week's time. So what happens then? Arsenal are a week ahead of everyone. West Ham, Bournemouth, Everton. But they're not. It's not gonna, you know, sort itself out within the space of the next 3 weeks. Absolutely no chance. This is meant to be the easy period. The, you know, not bad part. Boris Johnson was saying that 8 to 12 weeks or so is when it's meant to get really bad. June and July time. People are talking about suspending the league until then. Cancel the Euros, play it then. You're not going to be able to. There was reports coming out late last night that are saying there's people within the Premier League that are pretty much resigned to the fact that the league will have to be scrapped. And there's around about a 75 to 80% chance of that happening. And, you know, it's pretty straightforward what they're going to do as well. There's no title. There's no relegations. There's no promotions. Void, scrapped, done. There's going to be teams that are happy about it, ones that are in a relegation zone, and they will stay in the league, into the Premier League, Championship, whatever. And then you've got teams that are flying and doing brilliantly in the Championship that won't get the chance of coming into the Premier League. And then, of course, you've got Liverpool, who've waited 30 years for the Premier League, and it looks like they won't win it. But what can you do? We've never been in this situation before. It's unprecedented. So, I don't know. I haven't got an answer as to what's going to happen. And people will say about legal action. Who are the clubs going to take legal action on? The government? Good luck with that, because it's not going to happen, is it? So, I honestly don't know. I honestly do not know as to what's going to happen and what the next steps are. There's talk about leagues finishing, you know, as they are, and, you know, your position goes into next season for Europe and everything. Well, that can't work because teams like Arsenal, Sheffield United, Man City and whatnot, we played less games than other teams. So you can't turn around and say, well, you finished there when you got a game in hand. So one of the ideas that is being touted about is that you go from last season, what your finishing position was, is where you start off this new campaign. It's as simple as that. Liverpool will be defending Champions League holders. Manchester City will be defending Premier League champions. Arsenal finish 5th. With Man City being suspended from the Champions League, Arsenal will go in the Champions League. Who knows? I honestly don't know. So, yeah, I wish anyone could tell me because I'm lost. So, yeah, listen, in the comment section, let me know what you think. If they do void the league, how would you feel if you're a Liverpool fan? They're going to go mad if that happens. But how do you feel, honestly? Health before trophies? Let me know. So, yeah, that's it for today's show. And there's not a lot of football that we can talk about because there is none. And this seems to be dominating the news at the moment, and it will do for the foreseeable future, that's for sure. So, if you're new around here, make sure you hit the subscribe button. Make sure you smash a like on this video. I will see you lot tomorrow. I'm out of here.